It's Essie here with a process video for a pocket page using the Lottie Loves Paper September kit. I've used loads of this kit already, and I've got some scraps from the 6x6 paper pad and a few bits and pieces left from one of the ephemera packs that I'm going to use to create my own pocket cards for my pocket page. I've pulled out some stamps from my stash, and some alphabet stamps as well there. And I've got some of these two backing cards, which were from which are the packaging from the ephemera packs, and the paper and ephemera I'm using are from Pretty Little Studios. So I'm just starting off. I'm using the backs of pocket cards that I've already made and that are already in a page, because the Pretty Little Studios cardstock is really quite thick, and if I tried to create new cards on plain bases and add them to the existing pocket on the other side, I think they'd probably all be a bit too thick and wouldn't fit terribly well. So I'm flipped the cards over, and I'm adding new paper and embellishments directly to the back of the existing cards. So I've started with that mustard paper with those white hearts on, and covered the 4x6 card with it, and I'm using the packaging there, the backing card from one of the packets of ephemera that I had, and also a scrap from the 6x6 paper. I've created, now the pocket page is going to sit in my album opposite a 12x12 page, so the papers and ephemera that I'm using, I've used on that page as well. So I'm trying to tie in the colours and the patterns with the 12x12 page that it sits opposite. So adding, just fiddling with some of the bits of ephemera, having a think about which pieces I want to use on those cards. And I'm trying to be quite economical. I'm kind of trying to, you can easily buy pre-made pocket cards to fit your pocket pages where you just add your photographs in. But I love creating my own embellishments. And Natalie from For the Love of Pretty Paper Facebook page actually did a live video the other day, last week, and she did a sort of a bit of a chat along. One of the members of the group had asked for tips and ideas for creating our own embellishments using our stash rather than spending lots of money on expensive pre-bought things. And Natalie reminded me of how much I loved creating my own embellishments. It's something that I used to do a lot, particularly in the early days of my scrapbooking, when I didn't have huge amounts of money. I still don't have huge amounts of money to spend, but when I had to be really, really frugal when I was a student, and I'd forgotten how much I loved doing it. So I'm really focusing on using up the bits of ephemera that I've got left, and using up my scraps, and using up, using stamps and things in my stash which I can use to create my own embellishments. The stamps that you see on the right hand side there that I showed you at the beginning, the little baby hands and feet and the heart, were all free on crafting magazines. And I've also got the little alphabet stamps there, which are from their Dove craft, and they were really cheap. I bought them from a craft fair, and they were really, really cheap. I've got 2 or 3 of those in different alphabets, and they're just really handy to make your own little word stickers, like rather than buying shop bought word stickers. They can be quite time consuming. I've actually used them to stamp out entire phrases, and it's very time consuming and you need a lot of patience, but I do like the end result, and as I said, much more economical. And of course you can stamp whatever phrase you like. So I'm just fiddling around with bits and pieces from the ephemera pack. I've used a couple of my used a tab punch to punch a couple of tabs from the blue floral and the yellowy cardstock, so that I can place those on the cards and trying to tie in all of the colours and the patterns between the cards so that they are a set, that they all work together. And just looking, I love these stamps. They are Stampers Anonymous, so they weren't the cheapest, but they are really, really versatile, and there's just loads of different hashtag sayings, and they're just for all sorts of, a lot of them are really generic. This one is hashtag life moments. Obviously can be used for all sorts of occasions, and you can use lots of them together, and they are just really versatile. So using my tab punch, and I've punched it, and then I skipped that bit because it took me ages to get it in the right place, but I punched it again so that the top edge had the same pattern, and it was just a smaller tab. So beginning to stick things down, and using my tape runner there on that phrase from the ephemera pack, adding that floral blue tab and a couple of bits. I'm going to pop the date onto that white tab, so just layering up a couple of pieces to create a label for my date, stamping that with, and that's it's Hickory Smoke Distress ink I'm using. I like a softer grey ink than black, and then also got some number stamps, and I'm gonna, so it's February 2008. These photographs, the photographs that I'm using for my pocket page are. So they are baby photographs of my great nephew, who is obviously now 10. It's got a little bit of catching up to do with my scrapbooking. But actually, I'm really enjoying scrapping old photographs, just looking back at them, enjoying the memories. And I don't worry at all about not being caught up. I scrapbook old photographs and then I'll swap and scrap some new ones. I don't scrap a theme of photographs altogether and get those finished and then move on to the next one. I just scrap what I want to scrap, what I feel like at the time. So just adding some more, sticking down those embellishments. But you'll see now that I've decided I want to add some stamped hearts to that bottom card. So I peel off, luckily I stuck those on with my tape runner, which means I was able to peel them off again, just using a scrap of card there off the edge so that I don't get the ink on the yellow cardstock. And I stamp those dotty hearts and then just stick the ephemera back. But when I come to stick the butterfly back, I realise that it's going to cover the heart up, and I quite like the heart there, and I don't want to cover it up. I don't think it works with the butterfly over the top now, so I spend some time. I can't peel those ones off because I've stuck them down with my glue pen, and they're not so forgiving. They're well and truly stuck now, and I would rip the paper if I tried to get them off. So I'm looking at them, can't peel those ones off either, and decide that I'm just going to pop the butterfly over the top of the other one and leave the heart as it is on that bottom cardstock. So I also wanted a pink heart for the top journaling card because the other two cards have got pink hearts on. Obviously that pink heart that's in the patterned paper, and then the pink heart ephemera piece that I'd used. So I punched a heart out of the strawberry piece of ephemera that I had. And I kind of punched it in a way where I think I'm going to still be able to use the strawberry. If I back it onto another piece of paper, it will just look like it's got a heart shape in it. So I think that the strawberry is probably still usable, even with the heart punch out of it. And now I'm going to add some embroidery thread just to add a bit more texture. These are just threads that I've had for donkey's years. I used to cross stitch, got several cross stitch projects that I've never ever actually finished, and ended up with loads of colours of threads as a result. So I've kept them all, and I've just, there's the cheap storage boxes that I got from Amazon probably, and they come with little plastic cards in, so I've just stored my embroidery thread in those, and I've got an array of colours, and it's just a really cheap way of adding extra detail. And now in with my Nuvo dots. Use these on every project. If you watch my videos, you'll know that I always add Nuvo drops, and they are just such an economical way of adding little details without buying packets of shop product pre-made enamel dots, which are, I think, hugely expensive. And they come in a lovely array of colours and finishes. You can get glossy ones, glitter, metallic, and also some kind of clear ones that dry a bit glass-like. And so I finished my cards, just popping them on top of the page there as the Nuvo drops are not dry yet, just so that you can see how they fit with the photographs. Thank you ever so much for watching. Hope to see you here again soon. Bye.